Disneyland Forward is Disneyland's ambitious plan that might change the resort forever, and it's not what you think, it is more. Disneyland needs to expand and Disneyland Forward is the solution to that, but it might also not happen at all. Before we talk about Disneyland Forward proper, we need to talk about the problems facing the resort. First, this annoying bus drop-off point. It looks innocent enough until we realize it is preventing the expansion of Hollywood Studios. No, not the park, the mini land located inside the Hollywood Land at Disney's California Adventure. If Disney could relocate this bus stop, they would free space for more park area and then do a retheme of Hollywood Land or replace it with something better. Another problem facing Disneyland is the lack of expansion plots. Sure, there are some, but they would require relocation of facilities. Meanwhile, there is a bunch of land that is just parking lot. And other than being annoying, this amount of massive open parking lot makes the appeal of Pixar Place Hotel worse. So we have Disneyland's main problems. How long can they continue expanding until they have to replace a classic fan favorite attraction? Well, this is where Disneyland Forward comes in, and it's more exciting than you think. It is a proposal for zoning changes. Eduardo, that is the most boring thing you can be talking about. How can that be cool? Excuse me, viewer, zoning is like a big rulebook for how different areas of a town or city can be used. It's like giving each piece of land a specific use. Zoning is the reason why you might not be able to do certain things in certain places. Urban planners, city committees determine what an area should be used for, just like your mom used to do, or still does. Imagine for instance a guy named Bob wants to build a park with trees, a playground and a dog park. But he finds out the land is zoned for parking lot, meaning he could only build a parking lot there. The situation is similar at Disneyland Resort in California. So great, now Disneyland is stuck with all of this land that can only be used for parking. Well, if they can gather enough support, they could actually ask the city to change the zoning, just like you used to ask your mom for cookies. Or you still do. This is basically Disneyland Forward. Disneyland wants more space for the theme parks. Unfortunately, the space they could use is zoned for parking and other stuff. And that's when Disneyland Forward comes in, because it's trying to convince the local residents that this project might actually help them. So we establish what Disneyland Forward wants to accomplish politically, but in terms of a project or intervention, what does Disneyland Forward propose? You see, the concept art Disney put on is purposely vague. However, this concept art is like a puzzle, we just have to solve it. The solution to the puzzle might not be what you want to like to see, but it is the bonus and the foundation of a massive Disneyland expansion. So we have two parking lots. Let's start with this area here, the one near Pixar Place Hotel, the former Paradise Pier Hotel. Disney wants this to become a theme park, but instead of a third gate, it would be connected to Disney's California Adventure. Pay attention to this bridge. Since it is a bridge, it would require the approval of the city to build this. This is how far we can go on the puzzle as of now. Sure, we could speculate what kind of attraction would go here in terms of design and in our Disney dreams. However, that would just be speculation. On the north side of downtown Disney and the Disneyland Hotel will also be more theme park. Again, we have a bridge connecting Disneyland Park to this expansion, which could mean that they want this to also be more Disneyland area. Okay, so establish what is this area near the hotels. However, what about those annoying bus areas? Disney also wants to bring back the idea of the Eastern Gateway. By that I mean they want to build a parking garage near Harbor Boulevard, so they could also move the buses there. This was a project a while ago, however, the people of Harbor Boulevard didn't really like it, so Disney has changed a few things apparently. However, there is also something weird going on with Disneyland Forward. There is a third parking lot space called Toy Story parking lot, and Disney wants this to become, pay attention, hotel, retail, dining, entertainment and theme park experience, all mixed into one location. This would be like a Disney Springs according to the concept art. But remember, don't take the concept art too seriously. So let's go back to the puzzle. We have shops, restaurants, a hotel and a theme park experience. Quite interesting, isn't it? Also, the Disney Springs 2 is quite weirdly placed. It's located at the edge of the resort, it's far away from Disneyland proper, you can't access it really easily, and there is already a shopping experience located right next door, Garden Walk. If you don't know, Garden Walk is like an open outdoor mall with many shops that used to be at the downtown Disney district. It's not owned by Disney, so why would Disney build a shopping experience right next to another one? Additionally, this Disney Springs-like experience is isolated from the rest of the resort. Now, this is where I will speculate, guys. What if this was more than Disney Springs? What if it was a theme parking experience more than we think, because it's what Disney wants the area to be zoned for? In fact, this area is big enough for a Disney's California adventure. Imagine what could go here. However, there are some problems, like Garden Walk is on the way, because Garden Walk allows the connection between the Eastern Gateway and this area. What if Disney would buy Garden Walk? Now, this is the dream of many Disney fans, and it has been talked about since Garden Walk opened pretty much, since it is not a huge success according to some. The main problem is that there is a hotel there, and if Disney were to buy the property, how would they manage that? Also, would Garden Walk want to actually sell the property to Disney? Those are real questions we should ask. However, if we're thinking in terms of blue sky Imagineering, I think the possibility of Disney buying Garden Walk should be on our minds at least, because Garden Walk would provide a connector between this new parking garage and the possible park. So, what comes next? Well, we don't have enough puzzle pieces for that. But in the case of the whole Disneyland Forward project, when will this happen? Disneyland needs to present the environmental report to the city by early 2024, and then the city will vote on it. If the city goes against it, well, we can say Disney tried and cry. And then the city probably would ask for Disney to revise the project to appeal to the city. If the city would approve the project, well, Disneyland Forward goes forward. And still, they would need to plan it. What specifically would they want to build there? What rides would be there? How would this expansion be laid out? And what benefits to guests would be there? That is up to Imagineers. They would also need to face some challenges, as right next to these proposed expansions there are residential communities, and if you know something about residential communities, is that they don't really like having a big loud park next door. So if I had to guess, no outdoor roller coasters here, and there are also these ugly power lines. Disney solved this problem with the landscaping of Cars Land, which hides the power lines. Bridges could also be a challenge, but we don't have details on that. One thing I also find quite curious is the remodel of Pixar Place Hotel. This was not a Disney hotel when it opened a long time ago, but it was bought by Disney and turned into the Pacific Hotel and then the Paradise Pier Hotel. I actually stayed there a few years ago, and now it is being renovated. One thing I find curious is that the main changes they are making, specifically the restaurants, they are third-party restaurants with maple leaf, as if all this remodel is something temporary. I personally would speculate that they could demolish Pixar Place, no, not now, but in 10 years. That is just my guess. What do you think? Disneyland Forward is not what you think. It is just the beginning, and in a few years we might hear of a massive Disneyland expansion. But if you want to see what is actually happening at every Disney park, click the video on the screen right now.